He pulled a strange object from the woman's lower body. Before the police could grasp the situation, the coroner found a second piece inside, then a third. Only when a peach pit was extracted did everyone finally understand. The killer had first forced a fist-sized peach into the victim's lower body, then used some specialized tool to shred the fruit inside. Clearly, the victim had endured brutal torture before her death. What was even more terrifying was that this wasn't the first body the police had discovered. Like a hunter who understood human weaknesses, the killer specifically targeted women during torrential rainstorms. The heavy rain would wash away all traces of the crime, leaving the scene as a ruin with no clues to be found. The killer's modus operandi carried an almost ritualistic cruelty. He first bound the victims' hands behind their backs. After venting his animalistic desires, he would stuff various objects into their genitals. Finally, he would pull the victim's underwear over their head, displaying his criminal achievement. All of this felt more like an open provocation. The killer was using an extreme method to mock the incompetence of the Korean police. The story unfolds in a rural Korean village in 1986. Local police received a report. Villagers had discovered a female corpse in a drainage ditch by the rice fields. Park, assigned to the case, arrived at the scene. He bent down to peer into the ditch. The victim lay completely naked, her hands bound behind her back. Her body was crawling with swarms of small insects, clearly already decomposing. Back at the station, before they could piece together the case's basic details, another murder occurred in a nearby wasteland. The modus operandi was identical to the previous one. This time, however, the police were luckier. A clear footprint was left at the scene. Park immediately drew a circle on the ground, symbolically preserving the footprint. But fate seemed to mock his caution. Just as he was questioning nearby villagers for clues, a tractor slowly drove past on the dirt path. No matter how loudly Park shouted, the driver seemed oblivious, driving straight over the precious footprint. Staring at the muddy mark now blurred beyond recognition, Park trembled with rage, yet felt utterly helpless. Perhaps in this relatively quiet town, the police had never imagined they'd encounter such a complex serial murder case here. Exhausted, Park lay across his wife's lap, muttering half-heartedly about the case's intricacies. Unexpectedly, Park's casual remark prompted his wife to offer a crucial lead. She claimed to know the second victim, and mentioned someone had seen the barbecue shop owner's dim-witted son secretly following the victim that night. This information instantly energized Park, as he deemed the simpleton the prime suspect in the case. Park swiftly tracked down the simpleton and dragged him to a basement for a leading interrogation. Pressured by the chief to crack the case, Park resorted to coercive tactics to extract a confession, but the simpleton kept dodging questions, stalling progress. Finally losing patience, Park resorted to torture, even beaten to a pulp. The fool still insisted he hadn't committed murder. Seeing no results from the interrogation, Park conceived an absurd plan to make the fool the scapegoat for the case. Early the next morning, he took one of the fool's shoes and left a footprint at the scene of the second murder. Then he took a photo with his camera. He believed that with this evidence, he could close the case quickly. Back at the police station, Park interrogated the fool again, presenting the newly discovered evidence. But the fool had no idea what it was, and continued to insist he hadn't killed anyone. At a loss, Park devised an even more unethical plan. He took the fool to a small forest in the outskirts, had his men dig a large pit, and threatened to bury him there. Sure enough, this tactic worked. Terrified, the fool immediately confessed to the murder. Seeing this, Park immediately pulled out a tape recorder.